coming to you from Jones College today. It's nice, as I mentioned last week, I had the opportunity to speak with Coach Miller and have him here with me today. And before we jump into it, just want to let you guys know that today's podcast is sponsored by Rodriguez Construction. Call them for all your construction needs. Any job you have, these guys will get you set up. We're going to jump right into it. Coach, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So, just reading on your history, you've been around basketball for a while. Success at the high school level, success at the college level. Talk about that for us, about your basketball career, playing.
Yeah, so playing, I'm actually from Memphis, Tennessee. Went to Briarcrest High School there in Memphis. Left there, played on a men's basketball scholarship at the University of Southern Mississippi, D1. Great opportunity. Our team actually won the Metro Conference when it used to be the Metro Conference, and went to 2 NCAA tournaments. We were the first team to ever do that in Southern Miss history.
Nice.
Ended up leaving there. I tried my route to try to get on, in the NBA Summer League. I tried to go that route a little bit. And then just realized, that I wanted to get into coaching, So ended up coming back and starting that different route. But the success, obviously, as a player, having the opportunity to play at the highest level, I think was really important to me and kind of set the foundation from moving from player to coach.
Yeah, I know you even went to play in the World Championships.
I did.
Because I don't think people realize. Everybody thinks it's easy to make it to the NBA. The fact you made it to the Summer League, that's tough already within itself. And then to play at the World Games, how was that experience?
Yeah, so they always have different levels of USA teams that have the opportunity to go over. I was fortunate enough to play with a team from players from obviously around the country. We ended up going to Stockholm, Sweden.
Okay.
Was where the World Cup Championship was. We won a gold medal there. Had some great coaches under me. One of those coaches' name was Van Snyder. Did a fantastic job. He took us to other places, and we got to play while we were there. We went to Helsinki, Finland.
Okay.
We went to behind the Iron Curtain when it was the Iron Curtain. We went to Germany. It was an unreal experience. I also played in Australia and Austria. So got an opportunity to see different things and different places by using the game of basketball. I tell our players all the time, I've played in almost every state here in the United States, and I've had the opportunity to play in 5 countries overseas. So wow. It's good to tell our players, because that little basketball, if you can play and you can play at a high level, it will take you to places that you never thought you would be.
That's true. I think I saw some guy put a saying on Twitter. He put D1 life-changing opportunity, D2 life-changing opportunity, D3 even JUCO life-changing opportunity, because you never know what can happen playing.
Yeah, and all of it is, and I was fortunate enough that was a younger level USA team that I was picked to be on. And even at that age, what it did is it inspired me. Hey, man, I just put on that jersey, went overseas and played. So it was a great opportunity for me and my family as we were moving forward with that.
Nice. So make sure I get these names right. Somebody told me Kermit Davis, Josh Passner, and Jay, is it Ladner?
Ladner, that's
Ladner, correct. Jay Ladner. Those were guys that were, I guess, mentors for you coaching.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I will tell you, in this profession, networking is a big key. You've got to be able to get out, you've got to be able to meet people, and you've got to be able to have people help you through the process. Basketball is basketball. There's a lot of us that know how to coach, but you've also got to be able to have some people who have been there, paved the way, and can vouch for who you are in your program.
Definitely.
So when I was a high school coach, I'll be honest with you, I took advantage of that. When I had higher level coaches come into our gyms, I tried to think outside the box. I tried to be different than other coaches. Whether that was the way that we ran our practice, we gave the coaches practice schedules, whether that is we provided water and something for them to eat. I wanted them to remember something from my team, so that would relate to them if I called them in future to say, hey, you remember my program? You recruited this kid. How did you think I ran my program? And then can you make that phone call on my behalf?
Yeah.
Kermit Davis, he was the first guy who offered me basically gave me an opportunity to come on his staff early on in my career when he was at Middle Tennessee State. Didn't take it at that time. I was kind of young, trying to understand the game of basketball, and but he always told me, hey, if I offered something to you once, I'll offer it to you again. You keep doing what you're doing. He was a guy that called on my behalf here. Uh, Josh Pastner, he was the coach at the University of Memphis. He recruited one of my players named Austin Hollins at the time. And so the way I went about running my program, we got a connection. Then we became friends. And I will tell you, still to this day, he has done a lot for me behind the scenes to try to be a better basketball coach and also to move me into college coaching. And then Jay Ladner, I mean, obviously, he was the basketball coach here at Jones, won the national championship here in 2014.
Yeah.
I think we're the only JUCO in the state that's
Yep.
won the national championship. So we are friends because I played at Southern Miss, and so we do have a connection there that we discuss between Division I, junior college. He's kind of helped me understand where I am and what I need to do moving forward. So that's just a few. I can tell you, my son played baseball with John Calipari's son when he was the coach at Memphis.
Okay.
So I got a lot of knowledge there on my dribble drive offense. He taught me a lot about the game.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Final Four this year, and we just kind of went back to that conversation, and I just said, Coach, I got to thank you. I've won a lot of basketball games over just our conversations when our kids were playing baseball together. So the list just kind of goes on and on. But those guys in particular have really helped me develop who I am as a basketball coach.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, over the course of your basketball career, coaching, um, 65 more or less players you've helped at D1, D2, and junior college. What, what do you attribute? Because that's pretty successful. So,
Yeah.
what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, and again, I don't know the exact number there, but I will tell you, it's a testament to our players and our program. In high school, my job was not just to be an on-court basketball coach. My job was to help these young men take the game of basketball and move to the next level to chase their dream. I've had my dream. I've lived it. I've done it. I've been around it. And so I know what it takes to be successful, and I wanted to push our players. If they had any inkling that they wanted to play college basketball, that now fell on me.
Yeah.
As a high school coach, that is people can say it's a burden. For me, it was excitement. So I began the process. Okay, we think you can play at this level. So let's put a list together. Where do you want to play, son? He gives me a list. Okay, hey, look, you probably can't play at Kansas. I mean, let's talk about it. Now let's get to real where we think that you can go. And then we began making those phone calls and getting those coaches in our gym and giving our kids, when I was a high school coach, the opportunity to be recruited. Here at Jones, I mean, we have all level coaches, 4-year level coaches in our gym all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're here to recruit our players. So I've taken the same formula for success on the high school level and just brought it into what we're doing here at Jones. And this past year was a testament to that. We had 8 players signed with 4-year colleges leaving Jones. And that's a very, very, very big deal for me. Wins and losses, I want to win, but I also want to see my kids be able to chase their dreams.
That's half the team moving on. I mean, it hurts, but that's That's really good.
It is. It's a new team this year. We've talked about it. I think I went from the oldest team in the league last year to now probably the youngest team in the league. But with the youngest team in the league comes growth and excitement that now we've got a whole new crew that
Yeah,
we have an opportunity to move them forward. So that's one of the things that I do like about this level is the recruiting process kind of never stops for our players. Every day, they're here to get better. And if you get better, you find your way out. In JUCO, if you don't get better, well, you find your way out the other way. So it's a competition every day here inside of our program.
definitely, definitely. So before coming to Jones, Center Hill, you won the championship there, 5A, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that feel?
Yeah, so unbelievable experience. I took over a program at Center Hill. It took us a while to get to where we needed to be. I think they were 3-27 when I actually took over that program, and we did things the right way. Center Hill, from their administration down, it is a first class place. The way the administration builds the level of success for teachers inside of classrooms and the way discipline is handled just trickled right down into my philosophy for basketball. And winning that championship and doing it the right way, um, you couldn't get any more satisfaction. I mean, we beat our arch rival. We played Olive Branch 4 times in the season, and Olive Branch had a fantastic team, very well coached. I think they had 4 Division I athletes on their team.
Wow.
And when I say the city showed up, the city showed up all 4 games. And when we ended up playing in Jackson in the big house, you just can believe it was like a miniature Olive Branch had just taken over DeSoto County. And for us to win that game and to see those players put in the work that we required them to put in and the belief that we told them if they did the hard work, they would have an opportunity. And then for them to capitalize and win that championship. That was the first state championship in Center Hill history for men's basketball. That banner, those pictures, those players will live on inside that gym for forever and ever. And so I just felt like at Center Hill, we built it the right way. We left it better than we found it. I had done everything that I knew to do on that level, from winning state championships to playing in Final Fours to being in Elite Eights to having 20-win seasons to get my players to the next level. It was time.
Yeah.
It was time, and the opportunity presented itself. And when it did, it was going to take a special place. And obviously, Jones College is special, and we can get into that. But winning a state championship and being at the top of the mountain, there was no greater feeling. I get chill bumps thinking about it. I look at my state championship ring all the time, and I think about the kids, because those kids, they deserved it. They earned it. And I'll tell you, I mean, that team was led by a kid named Calvin Temple, and Calvin Temple played at Olive Branch, had transferred in to Center Hill, sat out a year, and then he goes back and has the opportunity to beat the team that he came from. It was a storybook ending. Just great players on that team that really helped us propel to win that.
That's awesome.
So it felt good for Center Hill for sure.
Yeah. Now, you come here to Jones. Was there a reason why? Because I know this is a ways from where you're from. So was there a reason why you picked Jones College?
Yeah, so the opportunity first off, and I had been praying for many years to be a college basketball coach, and I thought when we won the state championship that was going to be it. Oh, this is it, this is it, this is it. Well, it wasn't, and in my opinion, my last year at Center Hill was probably not one of my best years. I think that year we finished, we win the state championship, we go 31-3. And then that year I come back and we went 23-9, I think was my final year there and we made it to the Elite Eight and got beat to get to the Final Four. I come home, I'm not even thinking about it. I've tried and tried and tried. I gave myself a number, meaning age for me, If I didn't achieve a college coaching job by that number, I probably was just going to ride it out and finish my career because I thought I had really good teams at Center Hill. But I got a text message asking me to possibly apply for a college position. And I'm thinking, okay. So I ended up knowing about Jones. I played right up the road at Southern Miss, which is about 17 miles from here.
Yeah.
So I put my name in the hat, kind of went through the process. My wife and I said, hey, if God still has that door open, we're going to walk through each door. And if it's there at the end, then we're going to take it. But what led me to this place, without a doubt, is the people. It is a family atmosphere. They have the same core values, the same beliefs that I had put inside of my program. And once I toured the campus, I met everybody. I was sold. It didn't matter at that time what level. I just knew I had done everything that I possibly could do in the high school level for me.
Yeah.
The success was achieved there. My kids were getting older, so they were kind of out of the house. My two sons were out of the house. My daughter was going to play college basketball in a different state. And so we just looked at each other and said, this is it. And so we jumped on the opportunity, and I can tell you, I was at Center Hill for 12 years. So to leave there, it was going to take a place that was special.
Yeah.
And this place is special from the support system all the way down. Jones College, I call it the golden college because they've got a golden standard, and that standard is success. And when I say success, they're going to put success in the buildings, they're going to put success in athletics, they're going to put success academically, and they bring in winners as coaches. And so I was excited about it. I'm indebted to Dr. Jesse Smith and Joel Kane. Both of those guys brought me in. They believed in my vision, and hopefully I've made them proud. I mean, we're fixing to start year 3, and we've already had some success.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Now, when I came in here, I saw in the locker room where we are, next to me, it says championship mentality. What's that mean?
Yeah, so all coaches kind of come up with a slogan or something that their program can live by. I'm a culture builder. That's why we win games. It's all about your culture and what you're going to entertain and what you're not. And so everywhere I've been, I set a clear line of culture for success. And so I came up with championship mentality. And championship mentality, I started that at Center Hill. People kind of question it. Hey, he hadn't won a state championship. Why does he put championship mentality everywhere? Until he does that. I heard all these different things. But championship mentality was not about winning a state championship. Championship mentality was about how your program is run on a day-to-day basis. And so when we say championship mentality, I tell people this all the time. If you're over in a classroom and you're being disruptive, or you're throwing a paper wad at somebody when you're walking out the door, and the teacher's got to say something to you, that's not championship mentality, because everybody knows you're a Jones basketball player, you're a Center Hill basketball player when I used to be at Center Hill. They know those things. And so we want you to act right, do what you're supposed to do. If you're at a football game on a Thursday or Friday night, and there's a little kid that comes up to you and wants you to autograph a basketball for him, and you're too busy with your teammates or a girlfriend or something, and you don't take time for that person, that's not championship mentality. If you're walking across campus and you see trash just laying on the ground and you won't pick it up and throw it in the trash can, that's not championship mentality. So if they do those things correctly, I tell my players all the time, when you step on the floor, you're going to see championship mentality because you're going to get 100% from our coaching staff. And so now when you step on the floor, we want 100% effort on a daily basis. And you add those 3 things together, you begin to see that formula of championship mentality. I don't want to say it's old school. This is the way that I know how to coach basketball. And you got to get the kids to believe in it. Once they believe in it, they take ownership. And when they take ownership of your program, and it's not a coach-led team, it's a player-led team, you're talking about your success level is there. And so I love to see it every year. My kids know there are certain things in practice that are a standard. We wear the same color So we have a practice uniform, and
Yeah.
I let them wear the school colors. So if they want to wear a T-shirt underneath it, it's got to be black, white, maroon, or gold, because that's our school colors. So if a guy comes out and he's got a green shirt on, I love it every year, because guess what? The players, coach, that's not what coach accepts. You got to go take that off. Hey, you've got earrings in on the floor. That's not a rule for our coaching staff here at Jones College. So the little things are set, and I've tried to go around and speak to different clinics and different organizations. It's the little things.
Yeah.
The little things matter.
Definitely.
Everybody knows how to, in my opinion, knows how to coach basketball. Everybody knows X's and O's. Everybody knows picks and rolls. Everybody knows, full court presses, whatever it is. But you can't get to that if you don't do the little things. And so I really, really invest in the little things in my program. And if you want to play for me, you got to take care of the little things. And then at the end, you will reap the reward, because the big thing, the big prize, you're going to have a chance to compete for a championship, have a chance to move on to a 4-year college, and then hopefully have a chance to, after the basketball stops, get you a great job, and the core values that I have set in place for my program hopefully continues with them and what they do as they leave my program there.
Yeah, with their lives. I mean, because basketball is important, but I mean, being realistic, no, not everybody goes to the NBA, but it helps them with life lessons in the future.
Yeah, and my coaching staff hits home on that every day. The ball's going to stop. You got to get your education. You've got to take care of business. And hopefully, we have prepared you with tools for success. And I'll tell you, Jones College, that's another thing they do a great job here, is Dr. Smith had a vision, and we have a leadership class here. Every athlete is in a leadership class, and their head coach is the one that runs the leadership class. He wants them to be leaders, and he wants them to be winners when they leave Jones College. What better way than the head coach of the program to teach his players about being a leader and being a winner? We want them to be a leader. We want them to be a father. We want them to be a great father. We want them to leave here. We want them to open their own business. We want them to help their, church better. We want them to help their community be better. We want them to get involved in sports at a young age. Whatever it is that they do, we want to have given them the tools of success to be that person to lead. We want them to lead their family as they move on from our program. And so we spend a lot of time with it. Basketball is important. I think I told you outside, about 2.5 hours a day I get to coach basketball. That other 21.5 hours a day, it's everything else that's required of you to be a college basketball coach.
Yeah. I'm going to go back just a little bit to high school. So you coached Ian Clark, who made it to the NBA, won a championship with the Warriors. How does that feel, seeing him from high school to get to that point and make it to the NBA?
Yeah, so Ian Clark was a guy that was set up for success. So I coached him at Germantown High School. He helped lead our team, to winning a district championship, to getting us to the regionals, to have an opportunity to almost getting to the state tournament there. Ian was driven, and I meant self-driven, but his recruiting was all over the board. So that really was my first time to have a big-time player, and for me to be a young coach to try to figure out and navigate how to do this really helped jumpstart my career. But Ian's mom and dad, there were 3 things that they were looking for. They were looking for a place that he could get involved in that was church affiliated. Number 2, they were looking for a high academic school. And number 3, they were looking for a team that had some type of success in the NCAA tournament. And he had big schools, small schools, but Belmont University at that time came in and did an unbelievable job recruiting him. So he goes to Belmont, sets the record books there, and to answer your question, to see him in a Golden State Warriors uniform playing in an NBA championship and playing minutes. So he was Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I mean, he came in and he spot filled those guys and did a great job and won an NBA championship. Couldn't be a finer person. His mom still texts me. She'll comment on some of my social media, and every time She says family first,
Mm.
because that's what we built there at Germantown. And he's very successful. I was lucky enough to coach Austin Hollins. His dad's Lionel Hollins, who was the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, the
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets. And then I coached O.J. Mayo's brother, Todd Mayo. So those three guys, man, I was young, didn't really know what I was doing. But as they say, if you got players, you can win. And those three guys really jump-started my career. But Ian Clark, success story like no other.
Nice, nice. What do you think, like maybe coaching at the high school level, now you're at the college level, what maybe fill in for people who don't understand what the difference is going from that level to the next?
Yeah, high school coaches, I think we all dream of that we want to be a college coach. That's the dream. That's the goal. But it is completely different. In high school, you wake up. For most high school coaches, you teach class all day.
Yeah.
Then you have an opportunity to coach basketball. So I would always say in high school, hey, look at your contract. You get paid to teach, but you get to coach basketball. You come to the college level, you get paid to coach basketball. So you wake up every day. For me, it's 24 hours, 7 days a week of coaching basketball, which I love. But the biggest thing that I can tell you that I had to learn the difference in is when the bell rang or practice was over in high school, you sent kids back to their parents. That's their problem. And then the next day they would show up and you'd coach them again. Here, as the head coach of a program, you are in charge of the guys that you bring 7 days a week, 365 days, 24 hours a day. So you are their mom and dad away from home.
Definitely.
And so that was something that I really had to understand. The recruiting is a whole nother level. You got to get out. You've got to find your players. You've got to be able to get them in your program. So you've got to invest a lot of time in that. And then you got to be successful. High school level, all honesty, I mean, if you win games, great. But you come to college, the pressure is a little different. I like it because I want to win basketball games. And so for me, those are just some of the little things that are different. Time management, you're pulled different directions, different interviews. You've got to fundraise. You've got to coach basketball. You got to make sure your kids go to class. You got to make sure they're in study hall. So there's a lot of moving parts to being a college basketball coach that, people, they turn on the TV and they see, hey, Jones College is playing. I'm going to sit and watch Jones College. Have absolutely no idea what it took for us to put Jones College out on that basketball floor. But for me and my staff, this is what I know. I tell people all the time, I don't know how to fix things. I know how to coach basketball.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy the process. I enjoy it at Jones College. I enjoy, our administration and the other coaches. It truly is a family here.
That's cool. So you have, when I walked in, I saw it on the website, Clarence Witherspoon, who made it to the NBA, is one of the assistant coaches. How was that having him with you here?
Yeah, so pretty unique. Clarence Witherspoon and I were both teammates at the University of Southern Mississippi. And we just built a friendship. And that friendship lasted outside of just being at Southern Miss. And over the years, we always talked about if one of us became a head coach, that the other one would be there and would like to join their staff. And I had an opening on my staff. I called him. He didn't bat an eye. He came straight down here. We met. I can tell you, it's a big blessing. So you've got a guy who was the 9th pick in the NBA draft, so he's a lottery pick.
Yeah.
A 14-year, 15-year NBA career, very successful. He's also worked overseas in all the different professional leagues. He would go over there during the summer times and work over there. So he's got a lot of connections. More importantly, he's got a lot of knowledge. And so when he's out on the floor and he's coaching our players, I tell our players all the time, he's been there, he's done that. You want an opportunity to make it to the league, you listen to the coach that's coaching you.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really like about him is he's so humble. He's not here about the money. He has that.
Mm-hmm.
He's here for the love of basketball and because he wants to see young men be better players and better young men. So the growth and knowledge that he's brought into our program, has been second to none. I think he's done a fantastic job. Sometimes they say, hey, can a professional athlete, can they turn the switch off and then be a coach?
Yeah.
I can tell you, he knows the game of basketball. He holds our players accountable. He's a great staff member. To be up under me, and I say this all the time. When you go to find somebody in your program, you try to go find somebody that's going to make you better. And I think Coach Spoon makes me better on a daily basis. And I'm thankful that he chose Jones College because, listen, he's been a Division I coach for a long time. And, he dropped down and he seems to really enjoy being here. So we're thankful to have a staff that I think is like no other. When you add him and then our other coach, Trent Short, he's been a college basketball coach now at 2 different universities. So I think we've got a lot of dynamics here that really help our players have success.
Now, getting the taste of your third year you're going into, since you've got to experience college basketball, any desire to coach at D1 in the future?
Yeah, so it's you look at that. First of all, you've got to see can you be successful? What you do, does it transpire to the next level? Very thankful that since I've been here at Jones, we've had 2 really good seasons. Last year in the state of Mississippi in Region 23, we battled our way through it and got to the championship game. And that's no easy task. There are really, really good basketball here in Region 23. I will tell you, excellent coaches, excellent players. There's D1 players on every single one of our teams. They're here for one reason or the other, but a lot of them are Division I basketball players. And for us to play in the championship game and be 12 minutes away from the national tournament, that told me that we have the success and the blueprint to move to the next level. So to answer your question, certainly. I've looked at it. There's a lot that goes on in Division I basketball. There's a lot of moving parts. I mean, when you're talking to the portal and you're talking about all the different things that are going with it now, do you want to put yourself in it? I will tell you, I got in this game. I love this game. I want to see how far this game will take me. If I'm here at Jones College, fantastic. I love what I do. But if the right opportunity presented itself, to answer your question, certainly I think that I have what it takes to be a Division I basketball coach. I think I've got great staff members who understand the game, not only here at Jones, but outside of Jones. And then I think we've got the recipe for success. So if that presents itself, certainly I would like to do that.
That's cool. That'll be nice. Taking that, gone through all phases of basketball coaching at that point.
That would be correct.
Just the NBA will be the last one.
Yeah, and I don't think that's something I want to do. Coaching 80 games a year and just nonstop basketball. I mean, who knows? But that's not what I set out to do. What I did set out to do was be the best high school coach I could be, and then turn around and see how high I could get in college basketball and bring success to those programs. It's not easy. It's not easy. The work ethic, the hours behind the scenes that you've got to put in, it takes a lot. But to see your guys get to where they need to be and the enjoyment on their face, and then to see your college, your administration, and your community all rally around your basketball program, it makes it worth it for me.
Now, one of the last things, take us through. I know you said you're coaching only 2 hours, the other 22. What's a normal day? What time do you normally wake up? What time do you get here? What time do you head home, etc.?
Yeah, so that's the good part about this job, because you've got different things that you have to do. So you're not just an office guy, like you would probably be, in high school. But our day, I tell people all the time, you want to be a college basketball player until it's time to be a college basketball player. And what I mean by that is, hey, our guys, we get here early. So our coaching staff is here. We do individuals with our players. Then our players go eat breakfast. And I'm just telling you about our players. Then players end up going to class. Once class is over, they eat lunch. Then they go to weights. We have a full strength and conditioning coach here on campus, so they go to weights. They practice with us, for whatever amount of time that is for that day. They eat dinner, then they have study hall, then they come back in the gym. They've got to make, between 300 and 500 shots. We're talking about during the season. And then we give them an opportunity to, we want them to be kids. But at this level, if you're not getting better, you're falling behind. And so I try to tell people that all the time. So that our day consists of, as college coaches, for me, it's, you got individuals. For me, I'm going around and making sure that the kids are in class. I'm making sure that I'm talking to teachers and getting reports back on what our kids are doing in class. I'm out trying to fundraise for my program to make sure that we have the money that we need to be a successful program. We're doing dorm checks to make sure that our young men are in the dorm by the time curfew is. So there's a lot of different variables to the part, and then I'm on the road recruiting. So you've really got to have time management at this level, and once you can kind of get the ball rolling and figure out how to make that work, then you put it into your staff and you let your staff know what's expected of them, and that's kind of how a day goes there.
Wow. Wow.
Excuse me.
So, just going through some quick hits I do at the end. Your favorite place to eat, I guess here in Ellisville or around this area. See that, like you said, always on the run.
Best place to eat here in Ellisville is called Bo's and Joe's.
Okay.
Bo's and Joe's is a great place. It's right here on the square here in Ellisville. Famous place. A lot of people go there. So I would definitely recommend it to you. Everything from steaks to chicken fingers. They do an excellent job there.
Now, right now, like I guess at this point with you, this NBA season coming up, who's your favorite NBA team and favorite NBA player right now?
Yeah, so I've kind of looked at that, each year to try to kind of see how that goes. Really, my favorite team right now is the Miami Heat.
Okay.
The reason it's the Miami Heat, I've always been intrigued with Pat Riley, even when he was at the Lakers, and the way he goes about forming a team.
Mm-hmm.
That really kind of inspires me when I watch how they go about their business. And so if I got to look at that, Jimmy Butler is a player on their team that kind of puts the characteristics in of what I would like to see my players look like.
Because you went to a JUCO as well.
He's a JUCO player, and you beat me to the punch. And to be able to say, hey, you came from a junior college and you were able to move all the way to the top of your game, but the way he carries himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he's the ultimate teammate. I know he's had knocks before that people didn't think he is. He is the ultimate sacrificer, puts his body on the line, and plays at the highest level. So I know we're staying in the Heat organization, but for me, that's who I like to watch when I'm watching NBA basketball.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm from Memphis. I do love my Grizzlies, but the Miami Heat is my team.
Cool. And so you going with Jimmy Butler, favorite player right now?
Right now, he is one of my favorite players in the league. Yes.
Now, I was going to ask you something at the end, but I want to switch it up because you're a little older than me. I ain't going so. I'm going to just say a little. A little older. Top 5 NBA all-time players. No order, just your top 5 of all time.
Wow, man, that really put me on the spot. Top 5. Obviously, I would say Michael Jordan. In my era, I just think that he was the top of the game. I say LeBron James. I definitely have to put LeBron James up there. I actually played against Shaquille O'Neal when I was at Southern Miss. That was my first collegiate basketball game. And so I kind of watched his career as it kind of went on. Those 3 guys specifically, I can tell you are really good players. I was just trying in my mind just to kind of go back. I tell you, Jerry West, the way that he played the game of basketball and then got into management. I would probably put him on that list. And for me, I was a teammate of his. He's my assistant coach. I would say Clarence Weatherspoon. Any guy that's got a 15-year longevity career, those would be 5 guys that I would say impactful to the game of basketball.
Awesome. Coach, man, I really appreciate you joining me today.
Man, I appreciate being here, and And thanks for being on the campus of Jones College.
No, it was awesome. It was awesome. This was a nice opportunity for me. I learned a lot through this podcast, and in the future, we're gonna have another JUCO coach on the program, and we're gonna keep learning. I'm learning, and I'm sure you guys are learning some things as well. In the meantime, what's your Sporté? I'll talk to y'all next week.